Hello, Target Apex here, back with another Club 100 karting video. We're at round 2 for the lightweight sprint championship at Whilton Mill. Let's just get cracking with the action. Straight into heat number 1, starting in P9. This was my lowest start of the day out of the 3 heats. As we are building up to the line now, are we good to go? We are good, and we are green, and we are racing. As we get a great start on the pole side, already up to 7th as we cross the line. The other side of the grid all day didn't really get a good start. It's the pole side that got away really well as they all bunch up on the inside. I think, do you know what? Let's just put it round the outside then. As we go up to 5th momentarily, and then down to 6th, and this is where it all goes wrong. I get pushed wide and I go a bit lawnmower cutting. Or grass cutting with the lawnmower, you know what I mean. But it didn't end too badly. It was only a minor excursion, or however you pronounce that word, probably done it wrong, onto the grass. Was able to get it back on as we go down to 8th, but he gets a poor run out of that corner, trying to overtake me. Can I hold on into the boot? Go a bit wide. Yes, we've held the place. So that puts us P7. As we skip forward a bit, in fact we're skipping forward all the way onto the last lap now. You can see I'm now in P8, so there's one guy that overtook me, and then actually overtook me and overtook the guy in front. I stayed behind this guy practically for the entire, for the entire heat. I did actually. A little bit of attacking, a little bit defending, but I never overtook him. He was defending well, and it was a pretty boring heat, to be honest. Just stayed here, didn't really do much. But as a result of us having a little bit of a battle and him holding me off, the guys behind managed to catch up on the last couple of laps. So I've got threat from behind here as I have a little look down the inside. Not going to happen, but I brake a bit early, and that gives the chance for the guy behind to get past. Unfortunately, nobody else does, so that's good. Can we get a run to the line? Not quite. So we finished P9, which is where we started. So it's a good start to the day. Obviously it'd be good to gain positions, but we've not lost any, so that's good. As we move on to heat 6, my second heat, starting in P3. And as you can see from the onboard footage of the kart and the lens, now there is a bit of rain in the air. Normally you either do one formation lap up to the grid, but sometimes you have to do 2 if all the karts are not in the right position. This time we had to do 2, and as you can see, in those two formation laps, the rain has really come down as we are good to go. And we are green, and we get a good start already up to P2 again. We've got a good start on the pole side, but you can see there's absolutely zero grip. I mean, not even a single little bit of grip. It was so skatey. And as you'll see going into this first corner, just trying to find a bit of grip. This Jack O'Neill goes past us there, the eventual winner of the day, so no surprise there. In what can only be said as an epic A final, definitely worth a watch if you get time. But this is my first experience wet weather driving at Whilton Mill in these Club 100 karts. So the main aim of this heat is to just keep on the tarmac, basically. Just don't spin out, don't go on the grass, just keep it together and hope that that's enough to score some decent points. Unfortunately, the people in front just absolutely disappeared off into the distance, quite frankly. I just didn't have the pace, didn't have the experience, and I just really struggled in the wet. But no matter how many track guides you watch, no matter how many YouTube videos you watch, you don't get the feeling of being in the kart. As we skip forward onto lap 4, nothing really happened for those next couple of laps after lap 1. And then Peter Knight goes past us, another C2 runner. In fact, the lead C2 runner. In fact, he won the day. I think he probably still is the leader in C2 in the championship, because I think he won it the first round as well in the class. So very talented. And I knew it was him at the time, so I thought, you know what, try and follow him, see what he does, see if you can learn anything. As someone else goes down our inside, as we almost come to a standstill. You have to go so slow to get any grip. And to remember, we're on slick tyres in Club 100, so you understeer for about approximately 5 years, something like that, until you get some grip on the outside of the track. The reason we use Club 100 use dry tyres is because wet weather tyres will make everything more expensive for them, and therefore more expensive for us to pay for it and the cost to take part. But also B, there's 40 carts in their fleet, I think, and Club 100 mechanics are quick, but they're not that quick. They can't change over 40 sets of tyres in between heats. You've got such a compact schedule, there's not time for it. Plus it adds a level of excitement and terror when you're out on track to the racing. But no, it's definitely makes things a bit more interesting and makes it more entertaining to watch, shall we say. A little bit more scary in the car, but definitely more entertaining to watch. As we managed to hold on to 6th position now, so we've only lost 3 places, which, considering at the beginning of this heat, I was about 5 or 6 seconds a lap off the pace of the leaders, which is massive, considering a lap is 1 minute 20 in the wet. For karting wise, 5-6 seconds is massive. If someone goes down our inside, we think we can get the switchback, but you'll just see how much extra grip he has on the outside to pull away from me. I just can't compete with that. Quite frankly, looks like he's got a Mercedes engine. Oh, he clipped a cone there. Looks like he's got a Mercedes engine when I've got an Alfa Romeo. It just can't compare, but we are identical engines. It's just all about where you are on the track. All the karts are the same. As we go on to the final lap, we're in P7 now. Although I knew that the guy had clipped that cone at the end of that last lap, so I knew that meant that he would get a 1 place penalty at the end of the race. So if I could hold on to 7th, it would actually be 6 over the line. So as I was saying, all these karts are almost identical. Each car is going to be fractionally different, but they are so closely matched, and it just shows you that it's not someone goes down our inside but then they've got no grip on the inside, so they just switch them straight back basically. So yeah, it just shows you that it's all about your track positioning in the wet. It's all about your control on the throttle and the pedal and the brake pedal and the steering, to whether you can get the speed. It's got nothing to do with the car performance because they're all identical. So basically you can't blame it on the car, is what I'm saying. You blame it on the driver. As we come into the boot for the final time, coming round this last corner into the final corner next to Monster Curb. That's what it's called, I'm not making that up. As we go over the checkered line, checkered line, whatever you want to call it, we finished P6 in the end, up 1 place for that penalty, even though we crossed the line in P7. So down 3 places from when we started, but considering it's my first time driving these karts in the wet at this track, I'll take that, it's not too bad. So we go on to my 3rd heat, heat number 10, starting in P7 this time. And as you can see, just from heat 6 to heat 10, 4 heats, and the weather has changed dramatically. It's now dry. As again, we get a good start on the pole side, immediately up to 6th. And it's practically a dry track now. If we get a good run up towards Christmas corner, can we make a move? Down the inside, yes! We get up into P4. Good start. So yeah, there's a few wet patches still about, but not enough to constitute a wet line. It is a dry line now. It's a good start to the race. We're now P4, up 3 places from P7 where we started on the grid. And as you can see, the guy in 2nd is already harrying the guy in 1st. He wants to get past. The more they battle, the more they slow each other down, the more I'm rubbing my hands together thinking, yes, come on, there's a chance here for some good points. So cross the line to start the 2nd laps after after maintaining 4th. As he goes for the switchback there, P2 guy, is he going to get the run up to Christmas corner? He's got the move done already. Can we capitalise? Oh, as we get very close in the braking zone to the rear bumper of that guy. And we're just following him through. He's going to... Oh, he's going for the lunge. It's not going to work. No, it's too far back as we get squeezed out there. But we stay right on his tail. We now got the inside line for the next corner. Can we hold on to at least one of these positions? And again, we've got the inside line. Yes, just squeeze him out. Force him to back out. Fair, firm but fair. So we lost one, but could have been worse. So now P5. So we're still up 2 places from where we started on the grid. So it's still a lot to play for. As we come through turn 1, then turn 2. Using as much of the runoff as you want there, you're allowed to do that. As someone, I think, is up our inside, because we didn't quite take the line right yet. So there's someone on my inside, so I couldn't take the line as I would have liked up towards Christmas corner. So down to P6 now. Getting quite used to carts passing me now. It's usually that way around rather than me overtaking them, but I'm hoping that will change over the season as I get a bit more experience. But they're not... They've got past me, but they're not running away. They're still positive to be taken as he goes diving down the inside. Can we take an opportunistic move? Oh, it's getting a bit bumpy. And we go down the inside, but that's going to affect my run on the main straight. Have I defended it off? No, I think is the answer to that. So because I was on the inside, I didn't have a good run down the main straight. So unfortunately, even though I gained a position, I've now lost another 3, so I've lost 2 in net in the end. So definitely something to learn there. I don't think it would have been a case of not going for that move, but maybe trying to defend it better coming out of the corner. Because when you're a carter, there's no point turning up if you're not going to try and make a move when it's there. You might as well stay at home, quite frankly. If there's a space, you're going to go for it. As we get a good run on this guy, can we capitalise? No, he's defended the inside quite well. Very difficult to go around the outside there. However, someone did do it on me in the first heat, but it is difficult. So it shows you it was a good move from that guy in the first heat. Skip forward a couple of laps onto lap 7, the penultimate lap. Not a lot happened, but as you can see, I'm about 10 kart lengths behind these guys. But look, they are battling hard as they almost go 3 wide into Christmas corner. But you just see how they're battling so much after about 2 or 3 corners. We're right on their tail as we go for a massive lunge down the inside into Ashby. Can we make it stick? We have, but is he on our inside? Yes, he is. So we had the inside line again for that corner, so he managed to regain that position. I think that's Cameron Moss from memory. Fellow C2 driver. So you could say one of my main competitors, rivals, you could call it. So it's definitely one of those ones where you think it's an opportunity to get one up on another C2 driver if we can get a good run out of this last second corner. Yeah, we've got the slipstream. Can we get an overtake up to Christmas? Down the inside, late on the brakes. Get the job done. Perfectly executed. Great feeling. Last lap overtake. Couldn't be much better. As again, they're fighting ahead. 6 or 7 kart lengths behind, but they almost go 4 wide into this little left kink. And you can just see how much time they're losing from battling. And I'm right on their tail now, just in 2 or 3 corners. Can we get a run on this guy? He's just going to force me wide. He gave me enough room, but there's just nothing I could do about getting past him. Defended it well. As we come round the last corner for the last time. And we cross the line P7. So we equal our starting position, but this was the end of the heats, and I was just about to come off the track, find out on my phone where I was in the finals, and I saw this pole position in the B final. To say I was ecstatic was a bit of an understatement. I was over the moon. So started on pole for the B final, but as you can see, nobody in front of me, but what there is in front of me is rain. The rain is back. Fantastic. As we get a good launch. First time for me controlling the pace, and it's first time starting first place in any of the heats or finals. But as you can see, there's rain's back, there's absolutely no grip again. Do you know what? I'm just going to drink this moment in. There's nobody in front of me and I'm leading a Club 100 race. It doesn't happen very often. In fact, it's never happened, and it probably won't happen very often. So I'm just going to sit and watch this and appreciate this moment, quite frankly. Hopefully it will happen a bit more when I get a bit more experience and a bit more used to these karts and the weather conditions, but it was a nice feeling. And it didn't last for long. Half a lap, to be exact. So there's the P2 guy, he's got past me now. And as you can see, he just has that better line control in the wet weather conditions, which I just haven't got yet. And I'm just trying to follow him, just trying to learn and see what they do. But it's not just the lines, it's obviously the throttle control, the brake control, the steering input. They're all a contributing factor to getting around a track in the wet on slick tyres in the fastest time possible. Because it's so easy to spin up the rear wheels to get a slide on. Sometimes slides can benefit you if you take them right, but in the wet. But oh, get a bit of a wobble on. Can we keep it on the track? Yes, just about. As we lose another position, so down to P3 now. I think that's Jason Bradbury up ahead. I think he's a C1 driver, so not much surprise there that he's got past. Clearly got a lot more experience than I have. I'm glad I started high up in this final, that's for sure, because I can only imagine the chaos that was happening behind in the mid-pack on the first lap in these conditions where there's no grip. Sometimes incidents are unavoidable when you're in the middle of the pack. You can't avoid it. Just a bit of a kind of domino effect. So it was good to have some clean air to get going in the final and not have to worry about other people. As I go a little bit wide there, that's going to affect my momentum, and yep, I've been punished for it as he gets past me. And then you'll see here just how much extra grip there is on the outside. The guy just drives clean round the outside of me. Nothing I could do about it. There was just no grip where I was on the track. So down to P5. I've left a lot of this wet weather footage in actually, because there's not a lot of wet weather footage in A in Club 100 and B at this track as well on YouTube, when I was having a little look before the day to try and find some hints and tips, as well as watching track guides, etc. So I thought it'd be good to put a little bit up there in case anybody else wants to see how not to do it from my point of view, but also to see how to do it from the people that get past me. Unfortunately I didn't put any Rain-X or anything on the camera lens, so you get these droplets which are a bit frustrating, but it wasn't too many. It wasn't torrential rain, so it wasn't too bad. As someone else gets past us again, and you'll just see it goes wider. You think they'll be slower, but then just gets that drive on the exit. It's all about the exit in the wet, getting that drive on the exit of a corner. As we go through turn 2, which was undoubtedly, in my opinion, the trickiest corner to get right in the wet. As unfortunately, I think a bit of water's got on the microphone at that point, and it stayed like that for the rest of the final, so it has kind of affected the sound quality a little bit. Apologies for that. So we go down into Ashby. Yep, as our good old friend Mr. Esdry. Samuel, I think his name is. Clearly a very talented driver. Again, he's worked his way up from, he was C3, so he's worked his way up from the back of each of the heats, and he's now ahead of me in the B final, so clearly got some talent there. Wouldn't be surprised to see him in C2 at some point this season to graduate up from C3. As we come round on lap 4, we're in P7 now. But what I didn't realise, and obviously I don't know, you don't always realise when you're out there or see if you've missed something on the digi flag when you go over the start finish line, is he had Samuel Esri has a penalty from the first lap incident, I think it was. As Chris Woodger gets down the inside, I believe that is. Yeah, I think you can just see it on the back of his helmet there. So yeah, he had a penalty, Samuel Esri, so it meant that even if I finished in 8th now at the end of the race, he dropped below me. Obviously I didn't know that at the time. As you can see, there's a back marker out there, so I didn't gain anything from that. But it's starting to get dry. They're going for a big lunge down the inside there, the big battle on. You can see that the dry line is starting to come in now. It's not a full wet line. Someone goes flying down my inside. And when they did that and they held it, it made me realise, hang on a minute, I can use the dry line now. I didn't want to be the first just in case I span off, as we get a bit of a run down into Christmas. Bit sensitive on the brakes still, not managed to get the job done. So yeah, I skipped forward a couple of laps if you noticed, when we went over the start finish line to lap number 9 now. As we come around off Ashby into the left kink, as someone's going very wide there. I think that is the blue and white helmet of Chris Woodger. I don't know whether he was forced off or whether he was made a mistake, I don't know. But I'm not complaining, that's another position for me. Sorry about that. But yeah, we come around the boot into the final corner, making sure we avoid that monster curb. And we skip forward now and we're going on to the last lap, because nothing else really happened. Can we make another last lap overtake? It's going to be tricky. This guy's got a bit of a gap on us. Something unusual would have to happen, or him to make a mistake. But you never know. Anything can happen in sprint racing. But if I was finishing P8, I would be very, very happy with that. My highest finishing position so far in a final, I think, is 15th back in February 2020 at Buckmore Park. So even if I finish 8th, it's still my best ever finish and a massive improvement. So I'm very happy with that. As we come into the boot for the final time, for the final corner, anybody going to get us? Nope. So we crossed the line in P8, which is absolutely fantastic. I'm very, very happy with that. And obviously it's P7 after the penalty was applied, so down 6 places, but still very happy with that. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, click the notification bell and all that jazz, and I'll be making some more of these videos very soon.